Hello, my name is Lynn Comp, and I am the Vice President and General Manager for the Visual Infrastructure Division at Intel Corporation, based out of the Data Center and Data Platforms Group. Really excited to talk to you today about how visual experiences and media overall are completely transforming. They were transforming before we started all of the remote work that we're all experiencing, but it's transforming even more today. And with that, we'll go ahead and bring up the presentation. So we're going to talk about visual experiences, transforming media, and connecting the world. Now, we all know that media is transforming. We're experiencing it every single day. We have global video analytics, which has typically been used to help us sort through the unbelievable amounts of movie catalogs and television shows for us to watch. But in addition to that, things like media analytics are being used to improve video quality real time. Ultra high definition, we know that that's been coming. This is one of the great things about technology. Bandwidth, when it advances, technology advances with it. And so now we have HD technology that is demanding more bandwidth. Live internet video traffic is growing. This is something that we are seeing a ton of because everyday life, we're experiencing it, whether it's Zoom meetings or WebEx meetings or Microsoft Team meetings, or it's just chats with our friends over Skype. This is growing 15x, and that was before we were all working remotely from home offices. And then immersive media is another really interesting experience that's been a change in the recent months. We went from people trying to bring concerts and bring travel experiences or educational experiences on goggles all the way through, and it required some pretty complicated content curation. But with things like shelter in place, we're finding people are finding ways around their remoteness and creative ways to connect. So you've got bands who are starting to do concerts over their different remote connections. You've got some ability to self-curate content so people can select their views. And that in and of itself is expected to grow to a $95 billion industry. So don't think of AR and VR as just goggles. Think of it as a way to choose the experience that you're in. And it's just incredible in terms of how much this is taking off in the market to up to a $102 billion total addressable market. And I already mentioned this, experiences are evolving. We've gone from 8K and Ultra HD, which gives a great, beautiful visual. 360 VR allows you to feel like you're in the center of the action. Computer vision is another thing that is allowing us to really center in, even just like simple autofocus or simple ability to clip frames on an automated video stream instead of having to do it manually. And then your story. There have been trends around this since the 80s in terms of picking your own ending. Things like Black Mirror allows you to select your way through the content, or even video games allow you to have a completely different experience every time that you play if you would choose. So people are looking for a little bit more choice and a lot more interactivity. And we believe that this is going to require an end-to-end focus. And our focus is really on 5 workloads: media processing and delivery, which this audience knows incredibly well, media analytics, immersive media, cloud graphics, and cloud gaming. And all of these are things that are either created or curated or edited or transcoded and prepared for consumption in one place, very often in a data center. And then they're transmitted over a network, often one size fits all. Services innovation platforms, so the ability to rapidly create a new service, iterate very fast, bring it to market quickly, optimize and tune it, make it even better. That is speeding up so quickly that it drives the last one, the ecosystem collaborations. It's almost impossible to be providing every experience and every development and every part of the technology from end to end as a single entity. And so collaboration is incredibly important. Now, in terms of extensible architectures, we believe that data-centric is really something that has become a finer point. Data has always been incredibly important, but when you are trying to figure out the balance of moving faster, getting the data you need where you need it as fast as you can, storing, having the ability to store any size file, being able to search through it quickly. An example of the difference storage can make would be in doubling the local content delivery network cache, so that if somebody is using their cloud DVR, they can fast forward or go backwards potentially twice as much as what they've experienced now, and they don't have any buffering or any lag. And then processing. This is a three-way balance, and we do believe that software and system optimizations are critical. And so moving faster, store more, processing everything, it's really no different, but it's becoming even more pronounced as we get richer content. It's more important to maintain the data quality and have the ability to process it as quickly as possible. Now, extensible software, this is something that we announced last year, Open Visual Cloud. It is based on top of one API. And the whole principle is that we use industry frameworks, create reference pipelines, and it's based on optimized ingredients, hardware and software. And it makes it really easy to take a use case from software only all the way through hardware optimizations. So a great example of this is to be able to do ad insertion or media analytics. One API and Open Visual Cloud together, I mean, you're not rewriting your software just to take advantage of a different design point for hardware. So you can have the same service optimized for both high quality as well as high density, high number of streams, not really have to tune or change anything. So it gets your service to market faster. So we believe this is really important as we scale these workloads from cloud to the edge. Now, another example is 360 video and volumetric 360 video. This is something that a lot of people were maybe not looking at as seriously, but now with collaboration needs and being remote and having the flexibility to work from home just increasing, telepresence is an enhancement for 2D video conferencing system, spatial journalism, entertainment, and I mentioned the events. Think about how it feels to be in a stadium at a concert versus watching a 2D screen at home. If you're able to choose and select the different vantage points that you are taking a look at, it becomes more immersive in different ways. And in fact, one of the really creative things that I'd seen recently is somebody who set up 3 huge monitors in a 180-degree view. And for them, that was their immersive experience. So all of these things become really interesting and free up a lot of opportunities and new services that are possibly to be delivered in a completely new way. Another example I did mention earlier is customized ad insertion. One of the challenges that many of the broadcasters have talked with me about has been the need for local advertising, the need to be context aware, and the ability to do that very quickly based on both what somebody happens to be watching at the time as well as what businesses are queued up for being able to promote their services or their goods and what they're selling. And so things like facial recognition, that allows you to determine if they're looking for a specific person or a specific expression. Object detection gives you the ability to match what somebody's watching with a local retailer. In this case, if they're watching puppy shows, maybe they would need puppy food. So great example there. And then emotion detection. And this is a little bit more of the context. One of the examples we did on this is a number of travel videos. Someone was watching boats and trains and kayaks on the lake, and the ad insertion engine thought you need a vacation. And so matching the mood of the comedy or the drama is another great example to be more flexible and agile in terms of getting the word out for the affiliates and the local businesses, and at the same time being able to do it quickly and just pull from a database of content that's available. Now, one of the examples that I gave about stadiums and remote experience as opposed to live, we actually had a little experiment at the IBC in 2019 at the Rye. And what we ended up doing was we had a first ever content capture 8K 360 streaming video of a conference. And this was the Visual Cloud Conference, first ever one. And we brought together, there were 8 of us, all partners working to take it from capture at the Rye, doing stitching and production with the Vosis camera, uploading it to the Google Cloud, working on it with our own encoder, the scalable video technology. In this case, it was the HEVC format. And then working with Tiled Media for their Clear VR packager, and then broadcasting that out on Akamai CDNs so that people were able to watch it on any device that they wanted. We had people watching it on iPhones and iPads and Oculus. And what was really fascinating is the room happened to be packed. I was on site, standing room only. And so we had some people who were out in the lobby where there happened to be a coffee bar, and they were helping people download the application. And throughout the day, people started realizing I could really use some coffee, or I could use a little bit more space. So you would walk by outside of the conference area, and people were consciously choosing to watch on their device because they happened to find a more comfortable spot, even though they were perfectly able to just walk into the double doors and be in the conference right then and there. So it's a great example of giving people choice of how they experience an event. We've had a number of customer successes just to overemphasize how important the ecosystem is. I talked about Tiled Media, their use of the encoders, and how much bitrate reduction they can get, which is so critical for affordable over-the-top experiences. I also mentioned the importance of doubling the content per node when you're delivering CDN services. Quilt has a great demo on this, where they showed the difference in user experience between having Optane data center persistent memory and not having it, which basically for the user meant that they could fast forward through the streaming of a local sports event and not necessarily have to wait for buffering. So it was a great example. And then we've got another couple examples of performance or bitrate savings between Anivia and Atem, really important partners. And all four of these reflect a completely different type of service that's being delivered. So it also gives you a wide range of examples on what types of use cases and optimization points that Visual Cloud covers. So in summary, we see that there's this huge range of visual experiences. They were exploding across the cloud and edge before any of us were working remotely as much as we are today. Even more, today, organizations and service providers need scalable infrastructure and a range of hardware, software, and open source tools. It's not a one-size-fits-all service delivery. And we believe that the Intel solutions are a balanced portfolio, and they deliver the best experience and TCO. Because again, if you need a bandwidth optimized high quality experience for individual screen sizes, your answer might be different than somebody who's trying to do live streaming of mobile games. And so because at Intel, we believe that the right service delivery is going to be optimized for the user and for the differentiation of the service provider, we want to make sure that there's a balanced portfolio to meet all of your needs. And so super excited. Visual Cloud has been here. It's already been here. And so we hope that we can work with you. And our dream, our vision is that we can unleash intelligent visual experiences with on-demand cloud and transformed edge networks. And our goal is so that it makes it easier for individuals, companies, people in the industry, and new entrants to create, connect, and immerse. So thank you very much. And go ahead and you can visit us at intel.com/visual cloud.